Happen tomorrow. I see you're wearing neutral colors this morning, Professor. That's okay, I understand. But what are we talking about today when we're talking something that happened in our Iowa history with the Iowa Almanac?
Good morning to you both. This is one of those unsolved mysteries that has been unsolved for nearly a century. Some think it was Myrtle Cook's words that ultimately got her killed. It was on this date, September 7th of 1925, that she was sitting near the window of her home in Vinton, in Benton County, rehearsing a speech she was about to deliver to an upcoming meeting of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, the WCTU. Myrtle was active in the fight against alcohol, making public the names of those she suspected of bootlegging. Keep in mind, 1925 and the whole no alcohol movement, prohibition at the time. Well, since she was rather public about, shall we say, narking out bootleggers, she had made some enemies. Her house had been egged, and she actually did fear she might be harmed. Myrtle's mother-in-law was upstairs, occasionally hearing Myrtle recite her speech over the noise of a thunderstorm that was in progress at the time. Myrtle's mother-in-law then heard what she thought was thunder and then silence. She thought that a bit odd, so she went downstairs and she found Myrtle had been shot in the heart. The bullet came through the open window. Myrtle was dead within an hour. In addition to her membership in the WCTU, Myrtle was a member of the Ku Klux Klan here in Iowa. In fact, the preacher at her funeral wore white Klan robes, and a cross was set on fire in the cemetery in her honor. So given all of that, the murder and the funeral made news across the country. But the identity of her killer is still a mystery. Was it Myrtle's estranged husband? Was it someone who hated her political views? We still don't know. But we do know it's been more than 90 years since 51-year-old Klan member and temperance activist Myrtle Cook was killed in her home in Vinton with a single shot to the heart on this date in 1925.
Wow, how weird is that? You know, and still a mystery.
It is, again, one of these stories where if you didn't know it to be true, you'd think we were making it up. Because not only was she active against alcohol, we had an active Klan in Benton County, Iowa in the 1920s, apparently so. And she's living there with her mother-in-law, but the mother-in-law's son, Myrtle's husband, well, he was out of the picture. So you've just got all of these different elements and no answer. And I have to say, it doesn't look like people were really searching too hard to find an answer.
I was going to say, it doesn't sound like they were trying to find the answer too darn quick. Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
Even after all these years, saying, okay, there's the story. We'll just keep repeating it time and time again. All right, people want to go back and revisit with some of the things you just got done mentioning here just to get some of the facts straight. How can they do so?
You know, it almost sounds like a country song could be written out of this.
No question about that, yeah.
While you're working on that this weekend, go to IowaAlmanac.com. The whole story's there, IowaAlmanac.com.
Now, you're obviously in Panther country.
I am.
Where you're broadcasting from here. You keep an eye on what's happening over in Iowa City on Saturday?
Well, because the Panthers go to Iowa City next week, so it's kind of scouting report for you and I. But see, I have this great conflict because we broadcast the Panthers and I do pregame shows. I worked at Iowa State and I graduated from Iowa, so I just sit back and hope everyone does well. How's that for neutral?
That's about as neutral as you can get.
Pretty much.
You're going to have one of those jerseys that are made out of 3 different materials.
That's right. The cap that's got different colors on every panel.
There you go.
Maybe I'll just wear something with the state of Iowa on it.
Absolutely. I like that idea. Well, speaking of the state of Iowa, you always teach us something brand new every single morning here on our program, which we appreciate so much. It's known as the Iowa Almanac. So where can we go if we'd like to learn more?
Twitter at Iowa Almanac, Instagram at Iowa Almanac, and on the interwebs, IowaAlmanac.com.
All right, I also want to mention that you're going to be heard with a much wider audience here in a little bit, as you were yesterday, too. Explain what's going on.
Well, I'm not sure the CW Iowa Live audience is pretty good size, but because apparently I don't have anything else to do, I'm going to be filling in, and you're very kind to mention, I'm going to be filling in on the Fox News Radio Network nationally between 11 this morning and 2 this afternoon. Our friend Todd Starnes has a national program. He's taking the day off to do an event, and so he asked me to fill in yesterday. Great fun talking to people on the phone from all around the country about a number of key issues. We got deep into the Nike ad with Colin Kaepernick. That was entertaining for about an hour. But
what was your take on it over being at a news organization where you're at right now? What was your take on how it did unfold?
Well, it is obvious that the company thinks that they are going to score market share, and they think they're going to do it with younger people. And so they're just wading right into the middle of the political controversy. But my point was, did the NFL know that they were going to do this? Because the NFL has contracted with Nike. So if you were watching the game last night, every play's got a Nike swoosh somewhere in there, and that would bring to mind, obviously, the ad, which did air during the game. So it's very much a political decision, but the number of people who say, that's it, I'm not buying Nike again, I'm not wearing Nike again. I don't know that the NFL wanted that for their big season opener, to have that kind of controversy associated with it.
All right, or maybe people are talking about it, and that's the whole idea.
Yep. FoxNewsRadio.com is where you can hear the program, and it is from 11 this morning until 2 this afternoon, and we'll try to bring a little Iowa common sense to a national audience.
That works. All right. Thank you so much, sir. We'll see you Monday morning.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, you too.
I'm just wondering, what am I wearing? Yeah.